All right, one of the last things that we're going to talk about before, by the way, welcome back, before we get into inter-VLAN connectivity is switch port security. Just like we put that BPDU guard enable, so when you turn off span tree, so if somebody were to plug in an internet networking device, it would shut down the port into an error disabled state. Switch port security is somewhat similar. And what switch port security does, you can allow so many MAC addresses per port. 1, 2, and then you can set a violation on there that says, hey, I want to shut down the port, or you don't want to allow them access to the network, whatever it is that you're trying to do. Normally it's shut down. Now, in the CCNA, very doubtful that they'll ask you about, they may ask maybe one question about switch port security, but that's about it. Switch port security, you will see that and you will configure, where I'm about to configure, on your CCNA security exam, okay? On your CCNA security exam. So we'll do switch port security on the same ports that we turned off spanning tree, because that's where we're plugging in stuff to. So we'll do it in the same ports that we did that on the client switches. Now let's go ahead and go to the faculty switch. And the reason you want to do this is because you don't want anybody just, because if you have, and the example they give you in the book, you're in a conference room, you have your switch with X amount of ports, let's say it's a 12 port switch, and then you have somebody coming in with a hub, plugging in their particular device to that, and then they can put in more computers for whatever reason. You don't want that. You want to have total control of what gets plugged in to your particular devices. So config T int range F0/1-15. Another reason, not only for to assign the VLANs, but if you're going to do switch port security, also your ports must be access ports. Because if you turn on switch port security and they're in dynamic auto, it'll let you know, hey, can't do that. Ports are in dynamic auto, have to be access ports. So they're already access ports because we got VLANs assigned there. So all we need to do is turn on switch port security. We should do switch TCH port really TCH switch port hyphen security. I was saying, I know. Okay, switch port hyphen security. That turns it on. That turns it on. Now up arrow. Now what do you want to do? This is the way that it learns. Okay, how do you want it to learn? You want it to learn sticky. What is sticky? Oops, did I type something wrong? Oh, switch port security MAC. Sorry, MAC sticky. Sorry. How do you want it to learn the MAC addresses that you're going to control? You can do it statically, or you can do it dynamically. That's what sticky means. It will learn it dynamically, but when it adds it to the MAC address table, it'll show that it's static. It's there, and it's there to stay. So that's what the sticky command does. So it learns it dynamically, but it adds it as a static entry into your MAC address table. All right, up arrow again. Now the maximum. What is the maximum number? You can have up to 133 or 132 maximum MAC addresses, right? Yeah, 2. A laptop, a desktop, that's it. So you want to allow only 2 computers with that. And then the last one is the violation. What type of violation do you want? You want to protect, you want to restrict, you want to shut down. If you shut down, that's what we want when I put the port in error disable. If you want to restrict, then that just doesn't allow you onto the network. So what we're going to do is we're going to say shut. Done. Do WR. If you want to take a look at it, you can do show port hyphen security, and it tells you right there, hey, port security is on these particular ports. I'm allowing 2 MAC addresses. Right now there is no MAC addresses on there. There are no violations, and if there was a violation, the port would be shut down. So let's do that on switch number 2, which is the student switch. Same exact thing. Very simple, same ports. Config T, int range, F0/1-15. Turn it on, switch, ports, try and abbreviate too much, port-security, enter, all barrel, MAC sticky, right? That's how it's going to learn the MAC addresses. Maximum of 2 MAC addresses I want them to use. That's it, the first 2, done. If somebody else tries to plug in a third computer that's not part of that, that's when it shuts down the port. And then the last one is the violation where we want it to shut down. And this exactly is what you guys do. Very simple at all, but very important, because you want to be able to allow only certain computers on there, right? The ones that you plugged in, the ones that you configured, right? Everybody else comes to work. Nobody comes to work with their desktop underneath their hand. And they have their laptop, just like in any university. In any university, when they start putting, let's say, MAC filtering and wireless, they'll ask you, what's your MAC address? And you can have up to 2. You can have a desktop and a laptop. And you'll take their MAC addresses, put them down, and put them in the MAC filter table. So there's a whole, way. There's many ways to secure, obviously. This is just one of the ways that you do secure the switches using switch port security. All right, so now we've pretty much, let's do a WR to make sure we copy that. Okay. And I believe we did it on this one, right? We did a WR. Just in case, let's do a WR. And that's it. That's your switch port security. Now next, we got to get these 2 computers to talk to each other. It's 2 different VLANs. Get ready for inter-VLAN routing. I'll see you in the next session.